Hello everybody, welcome to Snyder's Inc. And today we got a new series we'll be starting. We have a new channel. The link to the video will be in the description below. This one is The Disturbing Part of the Internet Volume 1. I think this guy has like 12, I think, maybe even more. I'm not fully sure. So we're going to react to these, if you guys would like me to. I can't see why you wouldn't want me to. And yeah, this is going to be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment what you think down below. Let's go. It says the videos on this channel are created for entertainment purposes only. No video on this channel is meant to lead an investigation about sensitive topics. In case of encouraging concrete evidence, you should contact authorities. Copyright disclaimer, fair use, stuff like that. Free use, an independent work that is created free use. Okay, someone had. Wow, he really wanted to make sure that no one caught his ass. The Disturbing Part of the Internet, Volume 1.
Hey guys, I'll try to keep the intro short. I've been mostly covering dark and obscure internet mysteries throughout the last year. In that time period, I stumbled upon topics which were fascinating, but they did not have enough content to make an entire video about them. It felt really bad to ignore these topics for months and never cover them. A few days ago, I asked you guys about a video format which basically will be compilations about distressing things from the internet, similar to Nextpo's format. The absolute majority of people voting were in favor of—
God damn, look at that full poll. 93%. Yes. That is overwhelming by a country fucking mile.
this idea. The format name is up to change, but I thought it's the most fitting. I'm trying to more or less cover everything interesting that I stumbled upon in the first few episodes, so there will be topics which are less disturbing. Also, you know how YouTube works, so if you like the video, I'd really appreciate a sub and a like. It takes you only a few seconds, but it really helps me a ton to grow the channel. If you dislike the content in the future, you can always unsub later. Let's dive into 6 unnerving things from the internet.
The Voodoo Doll on the Sea. Okay.
The user, lack of a better name, shared a post in the High Strangeness subreddit with the title, "This was found in the Rio Grande River, which cuts between Texas and Mexico." I've tried to find an article about this, but came up with a whole lot of nothing. Look at the hands. People say you can see a face in the flames. Attached were 5 different images.
Yeah. I mean, that's a doll. Looks fucking freaky looking. But it is just a doll, but like, I don't know if I'd want to come across whatever the hell is going on here. There's some weird shit going on here.
The first one depicting the Rio Grande River of what looks like a wrapped up body swimming on the surface. The second image depicts a body outside of the river. Third image shows us what's inside. It looks like a human-sized doll. It seems mostly destroyed and has a very eerie look. The fourth image is a close-up. In the last one, we see the doll being burned. But why? People in the replies
That's a hell of a burn for just a doll.
were throwing in their thoughts and theories. One of such comes from the user Koba. I apologize for my pronunciation beforehand. It reads, "This is Santeria and or Brugismo at work most likely, or some Catholic possession figure mixed up with any of the former."
Oh, it's just a freaky looking doll someone decided to take their anger out on and fucking dismantle and then bury in the fucking sea. In fairness, my concern would not be that this is some voodoo doll. My concern is someone practicing their murder on a doll. Like someone practicing how they're gonna take a life and how they're gonna bury it in a doll. That would, I feel, would be my thought of what this is.
Brugismo seems to be an inaccurate term here. What is meant is brujeria. Brujeria means witchcraft. So this doll could have been used for witchcraft purposes. No. Maybe as a voodoo doll. The size of this doll seems very irritating. Normally, you would expect a voodoo doll to be smaller. The size should be around 2 inches. The topic regarding voodoo dolls itself seems to lack information, so I couldn't find a whole lot through research. As for Santeria, it is also known as the religion Regla de Ocha, which developed in Cuba in the 16th century. The religion seems to be viewed as a type for witchcraft and is associated with criminal activities. So basically, the procedure to deal with the possessed entity, in this case this doll.
Y'all are way overthinking this. This is a statement. The actual concerning part of this, you're not even thinking, which is this is someone practicing their murder attempt. This is someone who beat up a doll, maybe stabbed a doll, maybe worked on like they're stabbing and all that, then worked on tying it up and throwing it and burying it in this and pushing it into the sea. You actually are missing what the main weird crucialness of this doll is
to sink it deep into water. I guess that's why it was in the river in the first place. However, since this entire topic lacks information, other people thought fishing the doll out and burning it would be the better solution. I did some further research and found a Facebook page sharing even more pictures. It shows pictures of the aftermath of the fire. The doll did not burn up.
I'm about to say, that doll didn't. If that was the aftermath of the fire, the doll barely fucking burned at all. The doll looks pretty much the exact same. Okay. Even in my life, that's creepy. Like for you to put, if this actually is from the aftermath, which I have no reason not to take it at face value, but still, if it's actually after the fire, the fact that that doll barely burnt is fucking creepy.
Of the fire. The doll did not burn up. I want to give a fair warning in the following. Viewer discretion is advised.
Oh god, like guys, you know how this works. You got viewer discretion is advised, guys. You know how this works.
Normally, I wouldn't cover this in a video since it's not really a mystery and highly sensitive.
Mostly due to it being sensitive.
The build up until the final decision, however, is highly distressing and fits this format. I think he wants his story to be heard, otherwise he wouldn't have shared it. The user Kandra Salesman could be a familiar name to some of you guys. His last post was cross-posted in multiple subs and received some attention. To get a bigger picture, let's start by examining his post history. His first ever post.
Okay, so I can already tell what this is gonna be. I can already tell what this is gonna be. This is a guy who's fighting with his will to live and is doing it all through Reddit, posting his stuff.
Post is about mortality. In the replies he shares, "I'm just struggling to understand the meaning behind enjoying life if it's just going to at some point end. Either abruptly with no warning young, or slowly and humiliatingly with old age." The next few posts continue in this fashion. Whether it be that he is wasting time on meaningless things, or that he is in a mental state which he cannot get out of. He also decides to share a lot of personal information, which helps us to comprehend his.
No, I'm so generic and stupid. I wish I had a career I could care about. Instead of I'm 4.5 out of 5 years into a degree, and I've only known and realized I probably won't stomach for long. I wish I had truly close friends I could turn to, and I wish I could do stupid shit with that I could do stupid shit with while I'm young. But I've kind of missed the whole window. I've made no friends at university, so next up is working life until I die, but any time for fun. I do have some friends in a different country. I've been thinking about moving there since they have agreed it would be fun. But the issue is that they're all 6 and 10 years older than me. I'm not in phase of school yet, and they're transitioning to wife and kids. Feels like I feel like even if I moved there, so we could see each other more than once a year, it'd be pointless since they have no time anymore. Yeah, like he's looking. This is what happens when your mindset is negative only. That's what's happening here, right? Like this is a guy whose mindset he's had so many depressing moments happen over and over and over and over again, that at the end of it, he can't see positive. No matter what, he can't see positive, only negative.
Situation. He details that he is either too old to do certain things, or that he has no close friends left. I wish for a loving relationship, but I truly dislike myself as a person, and separately from that, I dislike how I look.
I understand that part. This has actually been me for a while. Like, I had that thought process for a while where I dislike myself as a person, dislike how I look. That changed throughout time. Now I don't really care what people think how I look. Even myself, I don't I look human. That's the main thing. I got really annoying hair and a weird beard that grows every once in a while, and then before I shave it. Yeah, it's just took a while for me to like appreciate how I look.
I have considerable
Myself as a person depends on the day. Depends on like, because there are people who see me as nicer and better than how I see myself. Let's just put it that way. There are many people who are just like, you're a great person, a great listener, a great all that. I'm like, no, I'm not. Stop lying to me.
facial asymmetries. I've tried Tinder and every other app or dating site as per suggestions, but it's
Nope. Don't try. Listen, I've been trying dating apps. I don't get nowhere with them. Especially Tinder. Tinder's full of shit. Anyways, there's no one legit. I don't even know if there's anyone legit, considering no one ever likes me back or no one ever messages if they do.
like, I don't get what I'm supposed to do on them even when I get matches. I can't flirt or drive a conversation with a stranger for shit. It feels like all other guys learned how to do this in some lecture I wasn't invited to, cause it's also easy for everyone I've talked to, but I just cannot get an understanding.
I ain't the guy that can talk to a woman. I'm the guy that just says a bunch of random shit and you either find it funny or not. Like, most relationships I find are not through dating apps. They're just in the most randomest situations. I have met someone through a trivia thing that I went to at a youth group. I've met a woman through a friend, unplanned. I've met one from having to send a message for a friend, letting them know that we're going to be late. I started talking to a woman through that I ended up seeing at one point. Through a behavior program. I have met women in almost weirdest situations, never once through a dating app or like planned. I don't know what it is. I just never find like women that way. It's really weird.
In the last paragraph, he describes how
I feel like I don't know how to deal with people. I first noticed something this year and I don't know if it's always been like this or if it's something I developed, but I recognize a specific feeling I get in many social situations that aren't with friends I know or similar, as if I just die as a person. That's a big, broad leap. I was about to say I understand this, but then I was like, nah, never mind. I don't feel like I die as a person when I'm around social things. I hate just seeing around social people. I usually avoid that shit. I don't think my mind is completely empty. Whenever I'm cleared, I can't say that word. I can only provide the most basic answer because I can't process anything. I've noticed that at family dinners, presentations, big and small meetings at work, career fairs, etc. 80% of myself just shuts down. I don't like that feeling. I wish I I wish I was one of those people who seem to enjoy conversations and meet new people. I can't say anything. That's not even me. I don't like meeting new people either. I try to avoid that. That's why I don't have many friends. But it's fine. Especially those fucking work meetings with supervisors who has been beyond embarrassing. During a summer internship, I met with a supervisor at least once a week, and I couldn't do anything for the whole summer except reply to his immediate, most basic questions. Anything slightly complicated, I had to reply by email because I couldn't think of an answer. I just hate this. Lying out like this does make it seem like I don't know what I want. I'm just unhappy with life in general. Frig. Yeah, that's tough right there.
How he seems to lack social skills in order to engage with people. You can see here, and here that he is definitely unstable. He frequently describes his outer appearance, how he is malformed since birth and his siblings not having to.
I apologize for me reading all these, but I just want to get the football picture of how he's thinking. He goes, I'm malformed and can't help but hate my parents, despite them being okay parents. I don't want to, but I can't help but hate my parents for birthing me. I'm malformed and hideous, and this isn't me whining about being average. My medical records are riddled with the terms malformed, defect, incorrect. What did they write there? I'm actually curious. What did they write that would use the term incorrect? I don't even know what. I'm actually more curious on this one now. Anyways, I don't quite understand as a child, but as I got older, now 25, I've come to realize a lot of my problems stem from this. I cannot stand mirrors or pictures of myself. People don't take what I say seriously. People want to avoid me and will quickly end conversations if I start them. I lived an unhappy life because of what I am, and I hate my parents for it. My parents were decent as parents. Not exceptional, but they didn't cross any terrible lines. Although my relationship with my father is very mixed for other reasons, I don't necessarily want to hate them. But I can't stand talking to them or looking at them anymore. I just want them to disappear. I would rather not have been born than to have been born broken. Does it help that my siblings all came out normal and beautiful?
To face the same fate.
Wow.
My master's thesis was approved 2 days ago. I was hoping I would feel happy or accomplished or at least relieved of the stress. But I felt nothing. I used to get more excited having coursework passed than this. It all feels so meaningless now. What was the point if I don't feel happy about it? Now I need to find work, and then it's time for working life. It just doesn't feel like a win. He again talks about this topic in a later post, where he writes, I found absolutely nothing. My savings are gone. I have no money anymore. I devoted myself to engineering and got no payoff. I regret this decision. I'm just a worthless sad pile of trash with a nice piece of paper. I want to.
Here's the thing that's hilarious. This is what happens, right? Because he's not realizing. He doesn't realize that he went through high school and got a degree in engineering. A master's in engineering. That's not fucking easy to do. Like, that's not, yes, it's stressful, but like, that is an accomplishment. I couldn't do that if I tried to. Like, I just don't have the ability. That's what I'm saying. Like, this is something, that's something that he doesn't know, like, his brain doesn't recognize as an accomplishment, despite the fact it is a major one. Because he looks at everything so negatively.
To end myself and hope that I get to start over. Everyone else from high school who just went and found normal jobs are happy. He pretty much put his entire happiness on one card, and it didn't turn out like he wanted. I think everybody is able to understand how crushing that must be. Putting your everything into one thing and eventually reaching it to just realize that it's meaningless. In his case, this was the trigger. Here he shares that he is willing to give up since he cannot even get a job, even though he finished his master's degree. In one of his last posts, he once more summarizes everything that went wrong in his life. I am 25 years old. I have a degree. I have been actively searching for a job for half a year now, getting absolutely nowhere. I am a virgin despite efforts to not be one. I am poor. I live in the cheapest student dormitory in the city. All my flatmates are filthy, and I don't feel comfortable in my own home. I may get kicked out any day at short notice once they discover I'm not a student anymore. I have no friends. My family has excommunicated me.
In defense of your family, you did say you don't want to look at them and talk to them and wish they'd go away. I mean, if someone family member told me that, I don't think I'd be talking to that family member. So, while it is your that suffering, when it comes to your parents and that, you kind of brought that one on yourself.
I am born with a malformed face. This isn't exaggeration or drama. My medical records describe me as malformed. I'm objectively hideous and will never be looked at with affection. I'm a loser. I lose. I lose at life. I don't have the will to eat anymore. I don't deserve it. After
that is brutal. That's brutal.
This, he started a countdown. He gave himself 46 days. He posted every day ever since. His last post was shared on True of My Chest. I've set up an AutoHotkey script to hit post on this message in 1 hour. I'm posting my last words here instead on another subreddit since they have shadow banned me, which is hilarious.
I'm about to say, why would a channel called Suicide Watch ban a guy who's talking about taking his own life? That is next level form of fucking hilarity stupid. Like, don't have this here. Don't have this Reddit thing exist if anyone who talks about actually committing suicide you're gonna ban.
He goes extremely in-depth about everything that led to this decision. I will not read out the entire post. If you are curious, just go over there and read it yourself.
Yeah, that's a lot of
things. It contains information that he did not previously talk about. My name was David. Today I turned 25 years old. I was born in a small town where I grew up and had no friends. I moved to a big city to study.
So his name's Dave. So that's the David people were talking about. But this is a thing where mentality can cause decisions more than anything else. If you mentally think negativity will happen. That makes sense. Like, negative things will happen because your mindset's negativity. Because when you expect everything to go wrong or expect something to happen, that thing will usually happen. It will. I'm not blaming David. Like, I need that to understood. I feel like most people subscribe to this channel will know that. But I'm not blaming David for what happened. I feel bad for him for the fact that he has had so many things happen, and the fact that he's had such a sad life that he has been pushed to a scenario where that's his mindset, and where this feels like the only option. That's what makes it even worse for me, is I feel bad that was the only option. His only option in his mind was to take his own life. Nothing else was an option for him. That's what makes it sad for me.
Engineering. I graduated. I could not find a job. I never had a girlfriend. My family has forgotten me. I achieved nothing. I will not be remembered. This was my story. It has now ended.
Videos of robbers on YouTube. Okay.
So in this section I'm very confused myself, and I have absolutely zero idea what this could mean. I will mostly just present the topic and let you decide what you make of it. Maybe it means nothing. On the YouTube channel Max Cherkov, there are a bunch of uploads. The first one depicts two babies, which are monitored by a CCTV camera for whatever reason. That's the entire video. The second one is also of very random nature. It shows the street and cars passing by. Again, captured by a CCTV camera. The next three videos depict robbers entering, stealing, and leaving the house. Everything captured by the CCTV camera.
Interesting. So why would you have a YouTube channel dedicated to just showing robbers and that? More my curiosity, is this done by the people who got robbed or by the robbers themselves? If it's done by the robbers themselves, how the hell are they getting this footage?
I will speed up certain segments of these videos because they are quite long. The next two uploads are just some random child cartoons or whatever. To this date, I'm unsure what all of this means. It was most likely just randomly uploaded, but why were the uploads in this order? Is there more to it?
Lady, Biker, and Lively. Okay, what's this one?
LiveLeak has been notorious for gruesome videos in the past. The following thing you'll see is not the worst of the worst and is rather safe for work. This will change in future episodes.
I have some NSFW stuff on Lively saved, so future episodes will be way more disturbing. The following clip is SFW. Okay.
I will try to translate the following while you watch the clip,
again.
but do not take the subtitles at face value since I do not speak the language.
I'm just gonna say this. I think a lot of people agree with me. This is a game you should never be playing on the road. Do not have a one-up game on the fucking road. If you're a lady on a bike and a dude in a car, the lady on the bike would never win if they're no matter what, you would never win. This is a game you should never play ever on the road. And that's why you should never play that game on the road. Yeah, you in pain probably. Yeah, you in pain.
Болит все.
I bet everything hurts. You just look like you flipped a whole shitload of times down the thing. You in fucking pain. That's why you should never play this game. Never.
Пожалуйста, скорую.
Не трогай, лежи, не двигайся. Жить будет целое. Как ты себя чувствуешь?
Болит.
Болит? Ты, главное, сейчас не нервничай, дыши. Ничего не снимай, оставь. Оставь шляпу. Не дергайся. Так как лежишь,
Я
так
воблинг словила. Затрясло
мы
мотоцикл.
видели. Ты лежи, не двигайся. Лежи, не двигайся просто и все. Шлем снимать сейчас нельзя. Поняла? Все, так и лежи. Лежи, не двигайся.
Is no one calling a fucking ambulance for this? Look at this. He's watching. Just everyone's watching. Can someone call an ambulance for this fucking woman? Why is everyone just watching her?
Все хорошо.
So what happened to her? It's obvious that she lost control, leading to the accident. However, this one was actually resolved quickly. Here's the follow-up clip of the biker. She just seems to be injured, but otherwise okay.
But you could tell she was okay because she was able to talk, she was aware of her surroundings. I was just more annoyed for the fact that like no one fucking did anything for so fucking long. The lady is also very attractive too, just saying.
The next two topics are
35
rather
black.
mysterious than truly disturbing. On the 24th of August, there has been a phenomenon that has been widely covered on different platforms.
Okay.
Here, the user writes, "What is the meaning of 35.black? You can't seem to type 35.black without space on Facebook nor Google." He elaborates, "If you try to post 35.black on Facebook or Instagram, you'll receive a pop-up message that says, 'You can't post this. This URL goes against our community standards on spam.'" There is no official explanation as to why this term can't be commented.
I'm more curious why you looked this up in the first place and why you know this.
In the message, it refers to this comment as a link. Thus, some people have guessed that 35.black is a forbidden website. Maybe there was a website with the URL 35.black that might have been promoting malicious activities or adult content, or maybe voiding Facebook policies in some ways or other, and hence the URL was
This is a stupid thing. I don't care.
blacklisted by Facebook and its servers.
Sorry.
Obviously, speculations about this are very interesting. There is a post on the subreddit Internet Mysteries where the OP speculates about the URL being very shady and that the FBI was involved in order to delete the website. Such websites are actually way more common than you might think. Normally, the general assumption is that you find the hardcore stuff on the darknet, but there are a bunch of ClearNet websites accessible through Google which contain the worst things that you could ever look up. I already talked about this in my Hangstank episode 1 video. However, looking up the URL 35.black will leave us without any satisfying results. It will only mention that the IP address was not found. Using Wayback is also no solution since there are no archives of such website. However, this phenomenon occurred roughly 4 months ago. Ever since, this seems to have been fixed. I tried to write 35.black with and without space in between, and it works on Instagram and Facebook. But why was it even banned in the first place, and how come that it got resolved now?
That's probably the case right there. Did you mean Coden? Not Corden? Is that what you meant here? It was an error in Coden? Not an error in Corden? What the hell does that mean? The magic of Oz. Oh god, okay. What's Oz got? Look at my eyes, look at my eyes.
The Magic of OZ is a fairly unknown short cartoon which only lasts around 5 minutes. It focuses on Dorothy, the Scarecrow, and Tin Man meeting
looks
the
creepy.
Cowardly Lion. The cartoon is poor in its quality and includes crude animations. It also lacks an actual plot and has been labeled as the worst cartoon ever in a YouTube video. The first ever known mention of the short cartoon was in 2010. Jerry Beck featured the cartoon in a lineup of worst cartoons ever at the San Diego Comic-Con. He himself thinks that this cartoon is from the 1960s. Overall, the cartoon is very odd and it cannot be linked to any studio, even though names of the people that worked on it are provided in the opening credits. I googled all of the names, but I really couldn't find much, except maybe the music producer for the cartoon. There isn't a whole lot about Paul Jeongsa though. What was the purpose of this cartoon and who are the people that worked on it? I have way more topics saved up and the next episode will be more disturbing. If you have recommendations for topics that I should cover, you can always contact me on Instagram or Twitter. You should also follow me there, by the way. I'm really active on both platforms. If you like the content, I'd really appreciate a sub and a comment, and I'll see you guys next time.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was it for this reaction video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Would you like me to react to more of these? Would you like me to continue the series? Let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all for the next one.